Shalom, shalom. Call halal Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakakudash. Shani Kabad and Gadawala Rakwab, the Kwanyam Nawa, Washalayakim Nawa. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Greater Millstone. Washalawam, Wabarakim, Labakayam Shayasharala. And that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And as always, to the confusion of faces, meaning those who look like the other nations, but whose spirits resonate with the truth, and that believe in that faith in Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai, the only begotten Son. So to all you brothers out there, no matter how you look, pushing this word in truth and in sincerity, I want to say peace and blessings to you all. So this is the brother Yaga Alia coming back at you once again. The spirit is just on me, and I just wanted to put up another video real quick. Once again, we were just going into this topic a little bit at camp yesterday, and not necessarily, let me take that back, this topic. However, this scripture was brought out, and I've been thinking about it ever since. Because when you read 1 Corinthians, the 9th chapter, and more specifically starting here, verse 24, Paul compares this truth to a race. So let's read it really quickly. 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. Know ye not that they which run in a race run all, but one receiveth the prize? So run that ye may obtain. Now, of course, the scriptures talk about the tabernacle of David, the 144,000 men that have been predestined before the foundation of the world to preach this word and to receive salvation. Now, of course, the 1/3 is behind them, but right here, I'm talking about the 144,000 men. You see, there's 144,000 men that are, or that should be, I should say, pushing this word and preaching this doctrine. And if that's the case, that means there are 144,000 men that are running this race, and we're all running the same exact race. We're running a race for deliverance, for salvation, and to be like Yahweh Shai. Okay? Now, with that being said, it says, know ye not that they which run in a race run all? So are we all running to compete with each other? Absolutely not. But then it says, but one receiveth the prize. So what does that mean, but one receiveth the prize? Well, you see, what Paul is getting to right here is he's talking about a mentality. He's talking about the characteristics of an individual that wins that race. He's talking about something inside of that winner, something inside of the person that allows them to win that race. And we're all running a race. You got to look at it like this. In wrestling, you have a team. And on that team, you have people of different weight classes. Now, of course, once you win counties, then you go to regionals, and then you're in the state championship, right? Now, depending on how many people on your squad, on your team, make it to that state championship match, then each one of you can compete to actually be a state championship, or each one of you can compete to be a state champion individually, but then at the same exact time, depending on how many of you actually win the state championship, then individually your points add up collectively as a team, and you guys as a team can also win the state championship. You see? So that's how you must look at 1 Corinthians 9, verse 24. We're all competing to win. We're all running to win. But there's a certain characteristics, certain mentality of that person that's going to actually win that race. Okay? It says, so run that ye may obtain. And every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. Meaning what? Paul has taken upon these certain characteristics to actually win that race. He's not jumping into that race without practicing first. He ran his warm-up laps. He stretched, has his water. He, had some carbs in it before that race. He knows exactly what he's getting himself into. And that's likened to this truth. Once you hear this word, you should be studying diligently, right? What does the book of 2 Timothy say? 2 Timothy, the 2nd chapter, it says, study to show thyself approved, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. That's a part of the characteristics, you studying. Because when you study, then what happens is you're allowed to teach now, and by doing that, you're feeding the lambs of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Oh, I'm sorry, he said, feed my sheep. There we go. You're feeding the sheep of the Lord. Okay? It says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I had preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. Now let me get, because these are the characteristics of a winner in this truth, of course. What was that? 1 Peter. I think I'm looking at the, let me just add this really quickly. Add to your Salakia. I'm not the greatest typer, as you can see. Add to your, all right, 2 Peter 1. Here we are, Salakia, but we're here. Now, these are the characteristics of a winner in this truth. 2 Peter 1, verse 5, because King David laid everything out for us. 2 Peter 1, starting at verse 5, it says, and besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue, and to virtue knowledge. You see, what is faith? Faith is, of course, let's get it. Matter of fact, I don't want to get off of it. It's a substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. All right, I don't want to get off of this. Okay, it says, and besides this, giving all diligence, add to your faith virtue. What is virtue? Virtue is strength. So add strength to your faith, meaning what? Put forth some effort. Put forth effort. The elder apostle Dahar just put out a video today entitled, I will spew thee out of thy mouth. And of course, that's coming from the book of Revelation. But with that being said, certain scriptures like that, especially coming from a man such as Elder Apostle Dahar, should put some kind of fear or urgency inside of you. It should make you want to work hard in this truth. It should make you want to put up some videos and edify the elect to show the Lord that, yes, I'm doing your work and I'm diligent. Add to your faith virtue. Add strength to your faith. And to virtue, knowledge. And to that strength, add some knowledge, right? And to knowledge, temperance. And to temperance, patience. And to patience, godliness. What is godliness? Godliness is faith at the end of the day. It's righteousness. Godliness is doing what you're told to do by your power. It's doing what you are commanded to do, and which we're commanded to push this word. It says, verse 7, and to godliness, brotherly kindness, and to brotherly kindness, charity. So you see the characteristics of a winner is laid out right here. The mentality that we should be in has been laid down right here in 2 Peter, the 1st chapter. This is all you have to think about sometimes, right? Verse 8 says, for if these things be in you and abound, for if these things be in you and abound, if they abound in you, if they're abundant in you, if there's some substance to them inside of you, they make you that ye shall neither be barren nor unfruitful in the knowledge of our Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. Right? Because once you get this truth, once you get this knowledge, you study, and then you're commanded to make videos to edify the elect. And with that being said, that makes fruit under you. If you got into this truth, that means you're the fruit of somebody else, who is the fruit of somebody else, who is the fruit of somebody else, and so on and so forth. Until, of course, the entire 144,000 have been sealed, because that's what we're hoping for. Okay? The scriptures say what? The harvest is plenteous, but the laborers are few. The laborers are few. So you should be putting in work right now. And you should be praying for more labor so we can get out of here. All right, verse 9 says, but he that lacketh these things is blind. But he that lacketh these things is blind. Lacketh what? Lacketh all of those characteristics of a winner's mentality, of someone that wants to win. The scriptures say, strive for the truth unto death. Strive for the truth unto death, and the Lord shall fight for thee. But if you lack any of these qualities, then you're blind, which means what? You're a loser at the end of the day. You're a loser. You're going to lose that race. And listen, we're in a race that we can't lose. There's no such thing as losing this race. Once you put your money in and you got a number and you're at that start line and that gun goes off and you're running, you can't lose anymore, because the scriptures say what? No man that puts his hand to the plow and then looketh back is fit for the kingdom of heaven. I believe that's how it goes. Salakia if I misquoted it a little bit, but at the end of the day, you get the point. You can't look back. Remember who? Remember Lot's wife. She looked back. She looked back physically, but it was also spiritually representative of her missing Sodom and Gomorrah and everything about that current place, if you will, about those cities that got destroyed. So we can't look back. What do we have to look back towards? This filthy world, which is anti-Messiah. It's filled with homosexuality, GMO foods. Waters are corrupt. You have waters turning bloodshot red all around the world. You have whales and fishes washing up on the sea. You have birds falling out of the sky. Chemtrails in the air. You're breathing dirty air. You're eating dirty food. Everybody's dirty around you. They're ugly. They're sick. They're tired. What do we have to really look back towards? Nothing. We have to win this race. We can't lose. But he that lacketh these things is blind and cannot see afar off. You can't see that finish line. Without these characteristics of a winner, I'm just going to say, without having a winner's mentality, you're not going to see that finish line. It's going to be too far, because remember, this isn't a sprint. This truth isn't a sprint. It's a race of endurance. It's a race. Matter of fact, what did it say right here? It says, verse 6, and to knowledge temperance, and to temperance patience. What does patience mean? It means to suffer. Whenever you're waiting for something, you're suffering at the end of the day. Are we not waiting patiently for the kingdom of heaven? Absolutely. Which means what? While we're waiting, we're also suffering. That's what it means. But this is an endurance right now. And while we're waiting, what do we have to do? We have to study, make videos, pray, fast, go out there in the highways and byways, show brotherly love. Let me finish out this verse. Verse 9 says, But he that lacketh these things is blind, and cannot see afar off, and hath forgotten that he was purged from his old sins. Yeah, that's the man that fainted, and he fell during the race. He didn't even make it to the finish line. He made it halfway, if that. Verse 10 says, Wherefore the rather, brethren, and this is the point, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall. If you have these characteristics and you hold and you have a winner's mentality, which we just read it, it says ye shall never fall. Ye shall never fall. Ye shall never fall. You got to think about that. Words of wisdom right here. The entire book is, obviously, but in my opinion, this chapter right here, and really verses 5 through, you can say 10, verses 5 through 10 lays down the groundwork of how you shall never ever fall out of this truth. Now, obviously, going deeper into it, certain men have been predestined before the foundation of the world, but at the end of the day, we still have to push out these videos and the edifications so that those men never fall. And the scriptures say what? To put ye on as the elect. To put on as the elect. And what are the elect going to do? They're going to put on these characteristics right here. Let's read it again. Faith, virtue, knowledge, temperance, patience, godliness, and brotherly kindness. Brotherly kindness, and last but not least, charity. All right. So think about these things, and if you have to, I would definitely highly advise you to look up all these words if you don't know exactly what they mean, because they're very powerful. And if you do these things, ye shall never, ever, ever fall. Meaning what? You're going to win that race. So with that being said, I pray that this was edifying and a motivational video, if you will. And I want to say, call Halayim Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rachakudash, and double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. Don't fall, keep running. Shalom.